EOS. So EOS has been around for a long damn time. They actually was one of the biggest fundraisers when they were when they were in startup phase. So I want to talk about what EOS can do in the next bull cycle based on its sort of historical performance, along with its push for adoption. They've made some good steps, particularly in Japan. So I want to talk about that as well in this video and why it could do a decent run in the next bull cycle. Before I get into any of that though, guys, if you're new to this channel, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed everyone that I was buying up all of these coins because I just expected them to, have really solid runs. And you can see what the prices were of all these coins when I did my first recordings and released those videos. You can see the highs that all these coins hit. And that was in under sort of 18 months. And what the profit would have been if you'd popped $100 into each. And if you had just used $100 into every single one, that's 26 coins, that's a $2,600 investment. If you'd have sold less than 18 months on, your profit from a $2,600 investment in under a year and a half would have been over 123 grand, which is pretty good. Now, I sold all of these. I've been buying up new crypto since the markets crashed, and I continue to do so. And I share the coins that I'm buying on my website, which is copymycrypto.com. So anytime I find a crypto that I think can do a huge run, I will jump on the site. I will tell my members about the coin that I'm looking at, I'm going to buy, what kind of gains that coin can have and why, as well as what percentage of my money I'm putting in. And it means the members can literally copy along. It removes thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of research for all of the members. We've got thousands of members now, and that's because of the successes we've had. And if you want to see what they are, you can go on to copymycrypto.com. You can see what the members have earned since being there. You can see all the things I've said in the past as well. There's a few videos on there. And then exactly what happened in the markets after that. It's all public record, so you can verify absolutely everything you read. And if you're liking what you see, maybe it's a service you want to consider. If not, no worries, keep watching the channel. There's obviously no obligation to buy, guys. So EOS. So EOS is an interesting one because fundamentally EOS has gone through two bull cycles. Now, granted, it only went through sort of the last. It went through about half of the 2017 bull cycle, 2017-18 bull cycle. So technically, I would put this in a long-term downtrend. Now, EOS is a very interesting coin because, like I said, they're one of the biggest fundraisers in crypto. EOS is an open source blockchain that's looking at prioritizing high throughput, flexibility, and ease of development. It's a third generation blockchain powered by the EOS virtual machine and has an extensible web assembly engine for deterministic execution of near feeless transactions. Now, it's always good having low fees. You need low fees because at the moment, obviously predominantly people use Ethereum, but having alternates to Ethereum, I mean, the rise of layer 2s has been quite substantial, but having alternative blockchains that provide interesting opportunities and low fees, always a good thing. They use a delegated proof of stake, which is a nice, easy way for people to obviously passively earn without having to do too much. Now, EOS, or the EOSIO software, which the EOS network was built upon, was developed by the company Block.one and architected by Daniel Larimer. The EOS blockchain was launched by a decentralized group of block producers who bootstrapped the network based on a token distribution snapshot from Block.one's ICO. In 2021, the consensus was reached by EOS block producers to fund the foundation, which was launched by Yves LaRose. And it's a not-for-profit organization that coordinates financial and non-financial support to encourage the growth of EOS. Now, as I said, third generation layer 1 blockchain, and backed by Fembushi, backed by Galaxy, backed by DWF. Now, what's quite interesting about EOS, like I said, the investors of EOS are quite substantial. As you can see, there's quite a few here. And the reason for that is a lot of people got into EOS in the early days. That ICO phase had a lot of initial investors for obvious reasons, like it was the first sort of legitimate kind of alternative to Ethereum. Now, it's worth noting, look, the max supply is infinite, but it is the proof of stake returns are pretty minimal now. The delegated proof of stake returns are pretty minimal now. So, you know, it's not going to see a circulating supply that just explodes out of nowhere, unless, you know, something crazy like what happened with Luna happens. One big piece of news that was announced a month ago is they've got regulatory approval in Japan. So EOS is approved by the Japanese regulator. So this is a significant development in terms of the EOS token being granted whitelist approval by the Japan Virtual and Crypto Asset Exchange Association. It obviously paves the way for the EOS to be traded against the Japanese yen on regulated crypto exchanges. So it opens up a huge amount of volume that can come into EOS. Now, it's worth noting they obviously have funding mechanisms for projects that want to get going on EOS. Obviously, they have an EOS Ethereum virtual machine as well. So there are a few different funding methods. There's Pomelo, which is where the EOS Network Foundations donated 2.2 million to the grant matching pool. This was distributed across 652 proposals using the quadratic formula. I don't know why you would use the quadratic formula here. I can't think of a reason. Yeah, can't think of a reason. I wonder how many people just heard the quadratic formula and went through it in their head from like their days at school. They've got EOS Labs, which is their sort of incubator. They've got Wombat X, which is a mentorship sort of program that they've got in place. They've got a recognition grant. They've got Eden, which is software that governs how community is managed and community funds are allocated. They also have working group grants, as well as EOS Network Ventures, which is obviously their own VC that's going to invest in projects they think are going to do very well. The EOS ecosystem isn't bad at all. We can see whether it's EOS native or EOS Ethereum virtual machine, which, by the way, I think is a very good way of sort of filtering through. You can see a lot of these are tool-based or NFT-based. There's some GameFi and some DeFi. Now, personally, I just feel that a number of different sort of layer ones right now appear to be missing a trick in terms of the push that they can have in the DeFi market. As of right now, there's a few GameFis, but as far as it isn't a bad ecosystem, it's not one that I would consider super strong. When we look at the ecosystems in crypto right now, I would make the argument Solana's ecosystem is far stronger than EOS is. I'd make the argument that Avalanche's is far stronger, and they have had a lot less time to develop and a lot less time to push and a lot less time to grow. So I do think EOS has languished a bit in that regard. Now, obviously, EOS is not for profit, but if you've got a venture capital group, that is for profit. Like, you're trying to make money out of the venture capital group to then redistribute into the EOS network, which is no bad thing, but it does mean they have to pick right. I'm curious to see if they've actually got any open information about the projects that they've invested in. So this is all just community stuff, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing here. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a bad concept. Yeah, nice idea. Nice concept. Let's see who they invest in, and let's see if they're open about who they invest in. I'd be fascinated to see this. I hope that, you know, we see them investing in strong up and coming projects, and if we are seeing that, you know, that gives people that are trying to find winners an opportunity to maybe, you know, see what they're doing as well. If you don't want to do that, you can always go to copymycrypto.com. So EOS right now, for me, look, strong project in general. I think the ecosystem for me is just needs development, needs work. You know, the fact that they've had that level of reliability, you know, over 5 years now without any downtime, that's solid, right? You can't knock that whatsoever. The fact that they're edging into East Asia, really good sign. You need more capital that can flow into the markets. It's kind of what they've done with Japan and hitting the regulatory body is kind of the exact opposite of my concerns with privacy-based coins, which is that as governments force centralized exchanges to not allow trading of those coins on them, it means the volume just massively drops. With the volume massively dropping, price action will drop substantially as well. So by having EOS open up to effectively another continent, or certainly right now just another country, but that's a huge increase in volume that can come to EOS, which gives it a better chance of sort of spiking in price. I'm still hesitant to say it's going to do anything in terms of like breaking an all-time high. I don't think the network's strong enough right now. I don't think the projects on there are good enough, to be honest. When you actually look at network statistics, EOS is not exactly on an upward trend right now. And it's in a long-term downtrend. You know, it hit like $22 in its initial bull cycle, only hit around $12 in the last one. That's a long-term downtrend. So initially I'd be looking at about $7.50, $7.50 as sort of its target point. If it hits that and it breaks above, yeah, it might do 10. Might well do 10. But the ecosystem is a little weak right now. There's not been any evidence of of a focus in where they're sort of distributing funds. So you can see the GameFi, most of it right now, the in terms of projects within the ecosystem are either tools, wallets, DeFi or GameFi. There should be a bigger focus on DeFi for sure. GameFi is kind of a tricky one because I don't think the throughput is good enough on EOS to justify gaming projects wanting to develop on there. But having said that, EOS can, in theory, I believe, hit 4,000, 5,000 transactions per second. In theory. The problem is in theory is not actual reality. That's not what's happening right now. But obviously it's not going to happen too much while less people are trading, less people are moving money around. But I think $7.50 is a fair target. I think that's a reasonable target. If it breaks above $7.50, I think $10 is probably where it lands. But I can't see a new all-time high for EOS. I just don't think the development's been there. If they got regulatory approval in Korea, if they got regulatory approval in the majority of countries, the increase in volume might be enough to surge it. But as of right now, I don't think it's quite there. So I'd be looking at $7.50 for this. But if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know why. If you use any of the GameFi projects on EOS, or you use any of the DeFi, tell me what your experience is. Do you like it? If you prefer it over another DeFi that you've tried, tell me why in the comments. Share that information with everyone. That's always good. The more we all share, the better the communities are informed. The better communities are informed, the better decision making can happen. So let me know in the comments, guys. And you know what? If you just want to take the work out of your crypto investing and make it easier and simpler on yourself, then you can just go to copymycrypto.com. That's where members of copymycrypto.com have to do literally no work. I do all the work. I find the coins that are going to do the big gains. I get in on them and I share exactly what I'm doing. I share my entire portfolio. It's all completely transparent. It means members don't have to dive into markets, don't have to read white papers, don't have to look at charts. They can literally just see what I'm doing and copy along. They just buy the same, sell the same. And that saves people thousands of hours of time, thousands of hours of energy, which can be better spent on family and friends and everything else. And they can make the same profits I do. But they do no work. So if that sounds good to you, just go over to copymycrypto.com, read through the site, look at it, verify everything that you read. If you like what you see, if it interests you, try us out, check it out, check what the service is. And if you enjoy it, brilliant. If you don't, give you your money back. It's not a problem, guys. But go check it out. And that is it from me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.